What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a Devotional Thoughts Part 2, and this one's about relationships. I'm very excited to get into it. We'll be in 1 Thessalonians 5, verses 12 through 14. So let's get into it. The video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post. It really helps me out. Thanks, guys. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 12. Now we ask you, brothers and sisters, to acknowledge those who work hard among you, who care for you in the Lord, and who admonish you. Hold them in the highest regard and love because of their work. Live in peace with each other. We urge you, brothers and sisters, warn those who are idle and disruptive. Encourage the disheartened, help the weak, be patient with everyone. So you guys know how I roll. First of all, before we even jump in, y'all know how I roll. I want to break it down verse by verse, section by section to make sure we understand. So verse 12 says, now we ask you, brothers and sisters, to acknowledge those who work hard among you, who care for you in the Lord, and who admonish you. How many of you guys know what admonish means? I did not. I had to start looking up definitions, so I went to my Bible app. And admonish means to warn or reprimand someone firmly. It took me way too long to figure out what is this word doing in this verse. It's talking about people who are working among you. It's talking about who care for you in the Lord, to then someone who reprimands you firmly. That was really confusing. So I started looking at synonyms. Synonyms are reprimand, rebuke, scold, reprove. And still, I was like, what is this doing in verse 12? It was something about it wasn't clicking. And then I heard the Lord say, hold you accountable. That is what clicked. That is what hurt a little bit. Because if you read it like that, you read, acknowledge those who work hard among you, who care for you in the Lord, and who hold you accountable. It hit hard for two reasons. Number one, I realized this verse is telling you what you should be looking for in a friend and in relationships. It shouldn't be all laugh and giggles and rainbows, but also somebody who holds you accountable. Number two, it started to make me think, how many people in my life right now do all three? I mean, who does the last one? Who admonishes me? Now, I still live at home, and it is literally in the job description of a parent to do all three. So you can count them. But what about your friends? I have some friends, and we met in a thing called student leadership. So I think they would do all three in a heartbeat. This verse started to help me see the qualities that I need to be looking for in my relationships all around me. Now, verse 13 is going to help me explain a bit, so let me read that to you. Hold them in the highest regard and love because of their work. Let's stop right there. I know verse 13 continues, but stop right there. So number one, hold them in the highest regard. Tells us two things. Number one, these will be the most valuable and important people in my life when they do come. Number two, am I holding the people in my life right now? Am I holding them in the highest regard? Now let's stop and understand what holding them in the highest regard fully means. The definition of that means a large amount of respect and admiration for someone. It is not simple, and it's not to be taken lightly. Let's think about it from a kingdom standpoint, right? We're supposed to have kingdom mindset with a worldly body. If a king held someone in highest regards, that person would have a huge reputation among everybody else in the kingdom. That person would be someone the king trusts and leans on. And it all goes back to the relationship being rooted and grounded in respect and admiration. The second part that I want to focus on in verse 13 says, in love because of their work. Okay. So this part tells us, flat out, straight, it's going to take work. You hold them in the highest regard because of their work. Hold them in the highest regard in love because of what they've already done for you, not because of what they're going to do one day. You hold them in the highest regard in love because they've already proven themselves to you. This is telling you that relationships, they require love and work. I'm still not over the work part because it surprises me how some people don't understand how much work relationships take from both parties. Not just me pouring everything I have into you for you never to pour into me. Now, don't get that confused because it is equal part. It's not just gimme, take. I need to pour into you as much as you pour into me. I had a best friend once, and we were in school together, so we saw each other every day, hung out every day. We ended up doing sports together, so we were literally hung out every single day. And then a change happened in my life, a good, fruitful change that is still bearing fruit, which is I started doing school online. And I found myself pouring time, energy, emotions, everything I had into this relationship, trying to make it work. Until I had the realization that I was exhausted. I was exhausted of pouring everything that I have, forcing this relationship to be something when the other person is not reciprocating that. I want you to pour into me just as much as I pour into you. So I said, I'm gonna stop texting first all the time. I'm gonna stop making all the plans. I'm gonna just chill out and I'm gonna see how she responds. And we're no longer friends. We're no longer friends because I figured out I was truly the only one trying to make that relationship work. Now, it was sad at first, but I was so happy that I figured this out, that it takes equal participation from both parties because it helps soften the blow. That relationship was dead and over even when I was trying to make it work. It was already over. And so I think that helps when you realize it's already dead. It's already over. It doesn't matter how much more I pour into it. If you don't pour into me, it's never going to work. Everyone has to understand that at some point in their life, whether it's from me telling you, whether it's from your own situation that happened, everyone has to understand that. So verse 13 says, in love because of their work. In love, in love. I want to focus on that word, in love, for a second. Love is never taken lightly in the Bible. And it's never taken lightly because it has a lot of power, more power than I think we are able to understand. It has so much power and it is so important that it was one of the 10 commandments to love your neighbor as yourself, right up there with do not murder, which everybody takes very seriously. It doesn't say love to your advantage, because that's a thing. When it says love in your highest regard, putting them in the highest regard in love, I mean, I'm putting you there because I love you, because I want you to stay there, and it's a way that I'm able to show my respect to you. Not, I put you there so I can take you down whenever I want. That would not be in love. The last part of verse 13 says, live in peace with each other. It's a statement, its own sentence. Live in peace with each other. Now, verse 12 starts off with, we ask you, brothers and sisters. But verse 13 ends in a command statement. Live in peace with each other. It's not a suggestion. It's not some sort of advice. It's a command and it's a statement. Live in peace with each other. I'm going to end off in verse 14, which says, and we urge you, brothers and sisters, warn those who are idle and disruptive, encourage the disheartened, help the weak, be patient with everyone. So as healthy and as good as it is to have those people that you hold in the highest regard and that you are in love with and that you're going through life with, best friend, parent, partner, whatever, don't forget about the other people. the other people that it's harder to get along with, the other people that it's harder to respect. Don't forget about the person that let the relationship be ruined. You are still supposed to help the weak, to encourage the disheartened. You're still supposed to be there and be patient for everyone. That's what verse 14 ties in all together. I hope you guys enjoyed this devotional thoughts. I really enjoy doing these. It's fun to take just a couple verses and really dig deep into them. But of course, you know what I'm going to say, I encourage y'all to go read the verses for yourself, because this is simply what I got. This is simply my point of view. I'm sure that you have a different point of view and there's something else that you can get from this verse. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.